woman. Dr. E, because I can't say her name. So if I pronounce your name wrong, forgive me, please. Come on up, Dr. E. I want to tell you a little bit about her here. She has a lot. She is a healthcare executive with extensive experience in healthcare research, analytics, operations, and a nationally recognized leader, published scholar, editor-in-chief of the Universal Journal of 21st Century Woman. She's got a lot here. She's a frequent speaker at, everywhere. At Harvard. Of course, she's an educator. She loves healthcare. She's received numerous honors like the Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award from Joe Biden, President, from Women Tech Data Award, and recognition among the top 50 leaders in healthcare technology. Just give her a great big hand. You are in for a treat.
Well, thank you. When you listen to your own bio, you do not know whether that's you or someone else, so it sounds more impressive than I feel it. But anyway, my name is Dr. Ewa Kleczyk, and it's such a pleasure being here since I'm Polish, and this city has second largest population of Polish people outside of Warsaw, so I'm gonna say bardzo miło Was witać, dzień dobry, dobrego poranku i miejmy nadzieję, że konferencja będzie wspaniała. With that, I'm gonna be talking about empowered leadership and why this is our time to change it. And it's time for women, for minorities, for anyone wanting and needing to experience your life to the fullest. This is a little bit of a lesson from some of the insights in my book, as well as being part of top-notch leadership organizations where they really allow you to see your potential in a slightly different way and allow you to take the risk regardless of your years. So a little bit of my own story or everyone's stories. My favorite thing is that our stories are our blueprints. It's a pathway to where we have been, and I think that very often individuals say, well, I wish I was here, I wish I was there, or I accomplished this. And I'm gonna tell you, there's no story or journey, there is not the right one. Everything happens for a reason very often, at least I believe, and from everything you can take the learning. So, can we just, it's coming through, thank you. So I always tell to individuals who are thinking about when they want to head, when I mentor a lot of young people, and they say, well, I would like by age of 30 to be a VP. And I said, but what if you are not? What if you have 2 kids and you are traveling all over the world? Is that okay? And I think we all have to embrace that sometimes when we have goals, things will not always go right. So embrace the non-traditional. There are certain things that I cannot change about myself. One, where I come from. I love my country, but I didn't select it, and I had to deal sometimes being discriminated against, or people telling me some Polish jokes that, quite frankly, I was like, where do they come from? Because they have nothing to do with being Polish. 2 is my accent. Doesn't matter what I do, I still don't have the accent. And 3, I have certain beliefs as a cultural piece that I have it inherently in me, and I have to be mindful where I go, how I'm being perceived with those. The other piece is being authentic. I had a manager a long time ago who told me, it has to be in your work. And I said, I don't know what that means. He said, you can take everything and anything and try to emulate someone who you admire. However, it might not be sounding as this is you. So there are certain things we need to embrace about ourselves. I tend to always say please, thank you, because I grew up in a Polish culture. We are very kind and always recognizing the certain behaviors. And I had to learn, and others had to be okay with me always saying thank you, please, may I please? And my boss always said, no, you may not. But it was a joke to be given to show that there are certain qualities that we all have to ensure that we sound natural to ourselves. There's nothing wrong being polite, there's nothing wrong saying thank you or appreciate someone and still be authoritative in the room that you are commanding. And then finally, this is our perspective, is our pedigree. This is what really makes us unique. There isn't one person in this room who doesn't have a point of view that we should all embrace, listen, and take something from it. Because the more people you meet, the more perspectives you hear, the wealth that you have, and the ability to see what you are doing, how others are doing, and understanding others makes your life and makes your journey that much more important and gives you that other piece that many people don't have. So the first thing that recently on my journey, the company that I was at sold, so I found myself in a little bit of a break for a few months before I joined my new organization. And so I had a lot of time to think, and I joined different networking groups. And one of the things that they told me, understand your why. And I said, what do you mean, understand my why? And I didn't know what that means. So really, this is where my journey myself, as thinking how as a leader, what I want to be doing, how I'm going to be seen, and what is really motivating me every morning to wake up and do what I do. So one of the things is, I want to make sure that the patients always have access to care and have quick diagnosis, be able to get the diagnosis that they truly deserve. We all deserve to know what's wrong with us, and get the access to drugs when it's needed. This is why I am in healthcare research. This is why I am now a chief data analytics officer for a local company here. And I take it very proudly that I am able to wake up every morning, and I know that the moment I do analysis, the moment I think about another sensor out of these beautiful devices we all have, and figure out how can we help physicians and patients make the right decisions, it changes, it gives me the motivation to do what I do. So, but the one thing, and I'm struggling with as well, is how do you, the moment you step into something unknown, and we all know, even standing on a stage for many people, it's something that is making them fearful. How do you take that fear and don't allow it to paralyze you? And I'm sure, how many of you were once, twice, or 3 times or more, had that fear and didn't do anything? And I'm assuming pretty much everyone, right? That's pretty much everyone. And I love the quote from Mark Zuckerberg. The biggest risk is not taking any risk in the world. That's changing really quickly. The only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not to take the risk. But if you don't take the risk, what do you give up? Because you do not know where you might be. How many of us failed, all of a sudden you find yourself in a much better place than you were? And I think fear, recognizing the fear, and especially for women leaders, for young women coming in, that imposter syndrome comes in very quickly. The moment we are in the room where, there's no one else. I was in meetings all week, and I was the only female very often in the room. And it makes you feel like, okay, no one looks like you, no one speaks like you, no one says thank you. Some guys are sitting with back to you, and they don't even recognize because they're all busy talking about whatever. How do you make yourself feel better? That's the fear comes in. But feeling that uncomfortable behavior and still persevere and still despite it take the step, it's extremely important. You might fail down regardless. I have many bruises, and I'm sure many of you have. Every person who's successful has bruises everywhere, and they proudly wear them. So I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna challenge you. Next time you fear, you do it. You count to 5, or count from 5 to 1, and you launch yourself, and do it. So we are right now in the biggest change of our lives, AI. It's everywhere. I speak often on this topic, and and there's a lot of individuals who say, I will not have a job. And I say, maybe your job will not be existent. However, I'm gonna tell you, if you embrace it, and again, remove that fear and learn it, you're gonna find out that this presentation that you are seeing, I developed it in 5 minutes using Claude. 5 minutes. I knew what I wanted, I told it, I created a prompt, I fit in my book, pieces of my book, and it created a presentation. If you can learn it, you can become more efficient, and you can really enhance what you are doing. The one thing that AI will never do is being creative. It didn't know what I was going to do, but it took the information and created a deck, and then I changed it a little bit alongside. So it becomes my partner in crime doing certain things. The same is with writing any articles and so forth. I collaborate, and I think we need to be thinking about it, learn it, but remember, creativity is here. It's not what you do, it's the creativity is here, because AI will never do this. And I think it's an opportunity for us to say, I have a partner that I can brainstorm. I have a partner who can quickly do something for me that, quite frankly, I'm not the best at. Me doing slides, not so much. I don't like it, but having a partner who is better than me and can take my content, it makes my life easier. So the one piece that I always hear is, I don't know how to redefine my success. Well, I want to be successful. And I say, did you wake up this morning? I said, they're like, yeah. Did you eat? Yes. Did you take a shower? Yes. And what do psychologists say? That sometimes waking up, leaving bed, and dressing up is the biggest accomplishment you can do during the day. It's changing your perspective. Because how many people are not able to wake up, and I'm not meaning individuals who didn't wake up because they passed away, unfortunately. I'm talking about individuals who are in a state where they can't even make themselves leave bed or take a shower because they are in a very different mental part that they require help, medical help. I'm talking about taking little things and using them as a launching pad. So first of all, the one thing for redefining success is, what is your impact? The impact might be very small and can be, I helped my children to go to work today, to school today. I dressed myself and I went to work and we accomplished something. It can be, I helped my community. It can be, I did something else. Redefining and really creating multiple points of impact, because your brain, when they know that you succeed, it doesn't know exactly what you succeeded at. It knows that it feels good to you that you did it. The other piece is structuring your role or your life so it creates balance. And I'm going to be talking about it in a moment, taking care of yourself. But we often, especially women, we don't take care of ourselves at all. I mean, let's be honest, and the older we get, we probably become better. This is why many women in their late 40s and 50s and 60s do yoga and they paint and so forth. But how many young women do that? Probably not. But by the time they are in our ages, they're already burned out. In 2022, 2023, the biggest women leaders dropped off the political or a business arena. Why? And they talked about it. They said the mental stress they were feeling, it was nothing that they could do any longer. They just couldn't do it any longer. And that tells you that sometimes stepping back or realizing where you're taking care of yourself, it gives you that empowerment later. And then finally, aligning your purpose. I'm going to talk again about the why. The whys can be big, the whys can be small, but it always gives you something. If I'm going to go to the gym, I know that my why is, so I feel better, I look better, and I'm able to go through the day with so much more energy. If I eat well, then clearly my whole body is nourished properly. But then if I take vacations, it's something to create memories, it's being with people, or even talking to people. Young people right now do not know how to create personal relationships. This is horrible, because what work we're going to have when they're going to be behind the screen continuously. So figure out your purpose, small, large, the big one, the blue ocean purpose, and the small one. As I want to make a connection, and I'm going to meet someone for coffee. Figure out what it is every day that you want to be doing. The one piece that I always talk about is leadership starts within, and this is on the balance that I was talking about. When I talk to a lot of leaders, and to be honest, I'm guilty of this as well, I'm always the biggest critic of myself. I don't give any grace to myself, absolutely none, and I have to learn continuously after every presentation to schedule half an hour to an hour to give myself feedback and then try to move on. It's not as easy, and I'm sure you all can relate to this. Women especially high performers, high IQ individuals, high performers, always replay it and the brain just goes. And I'm gonna tell you, I love AI, but AI is your body when you can talk to it and say everything that went wrong. It says, you're absolutely right, you screwed it up. Thank you very much, that's exactly what I wanted to hear, right? So, Anyway, so we'd say, so I'm gonna say, I'm gonna tell you, use AI wisely. Don't allow it to emphasize the things that are really in your head. Use it in the right way to support yourself. But self-compassion is number one. We all have to practice it. If we don't practice it, we can't go further because it's gonna be always playing in that head, the little devil sitting there and saying, no, you didn't do it, and the fear grows, and then the imposter syndrome shows up even more. Resilience. So we also have to think about it, the burnout. How do you prevent yourself? I'm a planner, so I usually like to plan, but I'm also okay pivoting as I need to. But I have to plan and my time off. So I am very active on this. Whenever I go on a trip, business trip or a conference, where there is over longer period, there's a longer holiday there or a weekend, I bring my husband in and we do a couple days together doing something. Because this way it is part of it, I'm already there, so I might as well take a couple days off and go see a show, go hike, go eat good food, go to whatever. My husband is big fan of cars, so we do maybe racing school, something that I can take it on. It doesn't require me any more effort because I'm already there. I have to go back anyway, so I have to fly back the 8 hours, let's say. Why not take a few minutes for yourself? So I think that is very important. And then think about also the other piece, empathy multiplier. When you are patient with yourself, and this is important, and I want to mention that when you're patient with yourself, you're patient with others, but also your aura changes. When you don't react to a fire drill at work, try it. Don't react. Just say, okay, let's take a deep breath, let's sit down. You see that others around you become much more comfortable. So that the brain opens up. And instead of being defensive, oh, I didn't do it, this wasn't my fault, because usually that's what happens, right? It wasn't my fault, this is his fault or her fault. Everyone starts thinking because they know that the leaders are allowing themselves to take a deep breath and slowly figure out what's going on. So I would say empathy and understanding of others and giving yourself the appreciation can open up and create the floor full of wellness and ultimately better solving of those problems. So before I finish, I do want to talk about taking the leap. And I joined 2 organizations last fall that really helped me with my own professional. One was really professional for high-end professionals called Leap Academy out of San Francisco, a great organization. But they were talking about taking the leap, especially as you go older in your career, figuring out, creating your portfolio career. How many of you know what's portfolio career? Okay, a few of you. So this is creating your different streams of income so that you have. Some people speak, many of you have books, that's your stream of income. Other people maybe volunteer, that's also part of your income because you can ultimately deduct in your taxes. So creating other areas where outside of work, so when your work or something happens to you, you have other outlets. A, you're protecting your source of income, but B, you're also allowing to develop your skill sets in a much wider way. So, so when they were talking about taking the leap, it's taking an action that allows you to launch something else or live your passion. Many of us have books, many of us love to speak, that's our passion. Many of us love supporting communities, having nonprofits. So figuring out what else do you want to do. My husband and I, we have a low-income residencies in Northern Maine. We are getting some revenue from it, but it's also supporting the community. We have a nonprofit. We are on boards of nonprofits. I speak. I'm a professor adjunct at couple universities, and I think creating these types of aspects really help you then. So when there is a loss, you know what to do. But there is also thinking about it, taking the leap versus taking a pivot. So leap is starting something new. Some people in their late careers deciding, I don't want to be in X, and they move to Y. Or they are deciding, finally, I'm going to take a different position, I'm going to move myself in. These usually are much longer, they're taking more courage from you to do this. But there is also something that is much easier for those who might be fearing that maybe I'm not ready. Sometimes income needs to be stable before you can say, I'm done with this job, I'm gonna do something else. You're gonna start something smaller. Is that little pivot. Maybe you wanna be in marketing, but you do not know how to use AI for this. So you're gonna then take courses, and you're gonna start slowly building that muscle and moving it. So, as I'm sitting here, the one thing that I want to ask you is, realize there is fear, take the leaps or the pivots that you want to take, because our lives are counted. Someone told me that there were only 2,000 weeks in our lives. Many of us who are 45 up, we are more than halfway through our journey. So think about it. If you only have, let's say, 700 weeks or 1,000 weeks to live, wouldn't you want to do whatever the hell you want to do? Because I know that I do. So it changes your perspective. But you think that, oh, I'm only 45 and I'm going to be living until 85, well, that's 40 years. But in number of weeks, it starts changing. So think about it. What do you actually going to be doing when you are pretty much halfway through your life, and the risks are, if you don't take it, you might as well not live. So the one thing that I'm going to tell you is, lead boldly, stand up, do the things you've never done. Recognize the fear, but tell the fear, stay back, I'm going. I might fall down, but I'm going. Own your own story. Be proud of who you are. Doesn't matter what your story is. There are people who have had substance abuse, who had major injuries, who survived suicide attempts, divorces, and they are doing stuff, and they are becoming actually better versions of themselves. Own it, live it, and finally, redefine what it means to be successful. Money is one component, but there is also many other pieces that is up to you how we're going to call them. So that, I think one of my last slides didn't go through, but anyway, I hope that you enjoyed my presentation, and I will be here throughout the day. I'm happy to connect and talk. So thank you.